Alright guys, what is going on? So in this video, for the first time ever, I believe, I haven't done this before. For the first time ever on this channel, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 4 holds. Now, I actually hold 6 coins in total, which may be way less than most other people on YouTube, but I prefer far more to operate in this way than to have a huge portfolio that I just can't keep track of. So you know what? Instead of just giving you my top 4 biggest holds, I'll give you my 2 extra ones as well. So I won't really call them my top 6 though, just because the other 2, they're there, but the holdings I have of them is literally like 2%, and the others make up like 90-something% of the portfolio. Now, before I give you the names of the 4 coins, or the 6 coins, I'm going to start off by giving you guys a little bit of an explanation as to how I chose these 4 coins, or as to why I chose these 4 main coins. Because a lot of people, they like to have really big portfolios, they like to have all of these smaller picks, all of these moonshots, etc. This cycle, I wanted to do the complete opposite of that. Because I did that last cycle and I didn't like how it felt and I didn't like how it played out. Regardless of the fact that I did actually get some huge returns off of some coins, including a 40x off of Engine, a 20x off of, I can't remember where it was, which one it was, but I got some big returns off of that portfolio. But I also had a lot of coins that didn't pump. And I learned from that cycle, I'd much rather have all of my portfolio pump rather than a few that do crazily well and some others that do not too much. So this cycle, I said to myself, how can I be the most effective possible? How can I make sure that my whole portfolio grows, but not just grows, expands massively? I want big gains too, like the rest of you, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the best gains possible with the lowest risk possible. Because a lot of us in crypto, we want big gains. We want to see 10, 20x's, whatever. But we don't really take the risk into account, because to do crypto, or let's say invest in crypto, you have to be a little bit crazy. Unless you're one of the people that just puts 1 or 2% of your money in there, if you're someone who likes to put a lot of money in there, you have to be a little bit crazy. So you kind of go down a rabbit hole. In the end, you end up just getting crazier and crazier and crazier until you get burnt. And at that point, you can either learn your lesson or continue to get burnt. Now, I've been burnt a few times this cycle, which is why I've really kind of concentrated my bets down into these 4 main bets. So, the reason I have chosen these 4 specifically is because they are all category leaders in narratives that I believe are going to be huge this cycle. And if you pay attention to general crypto news, they are 4 of the biggest categories, which basically everyone is predicting are going to explode this cycle. Not only are these 4 coins category leaders, but some of them even cross over within the categories or between the categories. So 1 or 2 of them actually fall into multiple of these categories, which makes me even more bullish on them. In addition to being in the best categories for this cycle, all 4 of these coins have also shown immense strength at the start of the cycle. And quite a few of them actually pumped a lot earlier than most other coins. Now, the reason for me that this is so important is that coins like this, if they do continue to pump early and faster than other coins, give you the opportunity to flip the money. So one of the best ways to make a lot of money in crypto is not to buy one coin and hold it for a 100x. It's actually to maybe get, I'm going to throw a bit of extreme numbers up here, but let's say you get a 20x off of one coin and then you 5x it in another coin. Then you get your 100x, but without needing to hold it up until a 100x, because that's a big feat with a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong. And they usually do. 100x's are very rare. 20x's are doable and 5x's are doable. Now, do I believe that I'm going to 100x my money this cycle? Absolutely not. Do I believe that any of my coin picks are going to 20x? Absolutely not. I choose big category leaders. But do I think my coins could do more than a 5 or a 6x? Yes. From these prices, I believe that they easily could. Now, if I could get a nice 5x followed by another nice 5x, that would give me a very, very, very nice return. Now, with a secondary flip, I would not do it with more than 20 or 30% of the profits that I've taken, because this cycle I would like to walk away with a lot of profit. But as a crypto degen, I will definitely, if I get the opportunity, be jumping back into the fire with a little bit of the profits to see what I can do. But I didn't necessarily set this portfolio up with the main intention of flipping it multiple times within a cycle, but it appears that my picks seem to actually be quite good picks to do this, or at least based upon what we've seen at the beginning of the cycle. All right, now without further ado, let's actually get into these coin picks and then the reasoning behind each one of them. So I'm going to start off with my biggest hold, which is Chainlink. Now, why have I decided to choose Chainlink? First off, for those of you that don't know, Chainlink is an oracle. Oracles are required for a lot of things to happen in crypto. Oracles bring data from the real world onto the blockchain. The special thing about Chainlink is that Chainlink has basically won in this category. And this category is one which is basically essential for crypto to operate. For things like DeFi, smart contracts, you need oracles. And last cycle, I held multiple oracles because it seemed like such a good niche or category to invest in. But what happened? Basically, Chainlink went on a massive run and the others basically died and did absolutely nothing. So last cycle, I learnt my lesson. Whilst a lot of YouTubers will tell you, look for the big coin that pumps and then buy all the other ones underneath it. In my experience, that never worked. I always lost money on the ones underneath it and made a lot of money on the winner. So this cycle, I'm going for the winner, which is Chainlink. Now, not only is Chainlink the winner in the Oracle sector, if you were to go onto CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and click on the category Real World Assets, which many of you have probably heard of this cycle, as it seems to be potentially the biggest narrative going into the next part of the cycle. Obviously, BlackRock, all of these big institutions are really looking to bring assets onto the blockchain, and they want to be basically the ones doing it. They know how big this could be and how much money it will make them. So real world assets is basically everything, you know, houses, basically anything. I mean, even for example, a Rolex watch. At the moment, if you bought a Rolex, you don't know if the Rolex is real, who the previous owners were, where it was bought from. You kind of just have to trust the seller. Now, he should have some paperwork, but you don't know if that paperwork is real or if it was falsified, if he just created it, if he's, you know, a scammer and he's good at this kind of thing. Whereas if it was on the blockchain, if it was written, no, this Rolex belongs to Marcus and you're buying it from Marcus, you could then verify, okay, this is a real Rolex. The same thing goes for properties. Property, as far as I'm aware, you have to sign some things. Okay, it goes into the system. The system is, I'm not sure who it's controlled by, if it's the government. I'm not a real estate expert, I will be honest. But regardless, they want to move things like real estate onto the blockchain. They want to move all different kinds of assets onto the blockchain so that everything's verifiable. This would make the world a lot easier to deal with. A lot of things, you know, there's so much bureaucracy and everything. If everything was just on the blockchain, it would make life easier for a lot of people. Not only this would then allow them to also sell parts of the assets. So what I mean by that is you would be able to buy a percentage of the asset. So they could, for example, put a building on the blockchain and then they could sell off 1% blocks of the building. For example, if you bought one of them, you would then own 1% of that building. And any revenue brought in from the building, you would then get a share of. So real world assets is huge and it's coming to the blockchain. Chainlink is the industry leader. It is the number one in that category. And when that category gets a huge push on the internet, in the news, when everyone's hyping over it, guess what? Everyone will suddenly go on CoinMarketCap and they'll think, oh, what can I buy to get exposure to real world assets? They'll open up the website and what will they see there right at the top? Chainlink. So nice easy pick there. Like I said, leader in two different categories, two very relevant, important categories. So for me, Chainlink was an easy pick, and that's why it's now my main hold. Secondly, one that I didn't actually know was so related to real world assets until I did a little bit of research and then found out that it was. The coin that I'm talking about now is Avalanche. Now, I actually invested in Avalanche for multiple reasons, to then discover that it was also involved in the real world asset category. Now, the reason that I bought Avalanche is because one of the big narratives for this cycle, which seems to have fizzled out a little bit, but I believe will come back strongly, is the gaming sector. So gaming has literally been talked about through the whole bear market. Everyone was betting everything on it, saying gaming was going to be the big one for this cycle. We've had some big crypto games come out. Some of the kind of technology behind the games, maybe not the games themselves, but the technology required to run the games, some of those kind of projects boomed. Now, some games did boom individually, but as I've learned this cycle, investing in individual games is risky, and the chance of you picking a winner compared to picking a loser, I don't know, like it's difficult. I've picked a couple losers this cycle, so maybe, you know, I'm speaking as someone who got burnt, but I'd rather pick a guaranteed winner. So, where are the games building on? Which blockchain are they using? Well, if you do a little bit of research, you'll very quickly learn that Avalanche has basically become the crypto gaming blockchain. In addition to this, Avalanche has a ridiculous number of other functions, but the fact that basically gaming is being built on top of it, and we've seen with games like Off the Grid, that they've just been putting a ridiculous amount of transactions through the Avalanche blockchain. And as you guys should know, blockchains that actually get used have value. There are so many blockchains that literally have no users, massive market caps. And what's the point of the market cap being so high if no one's using it? That's like a company having a huge valuation and no customers. Doesn't really make much sense. So I'd rather put my money where the customers are, where the people that are using blockchains are, which is on Avalanche. So Avalanche for me is an obvious pick. Not only does it work with businesses, they allow businesses to build very easily on top of it. They're also heavily involved in the crypto gaming category. When crypto gaming pumps, Avalanche is going to receive some of the benefits of that. So for me, Avalanche is a clear winner. Not only that, Avalanche is probably the chain that I liked using the most last cycle. Now that doesn't really make much difference, but to me, I enjoyed using Avalanche and it's cheap. All right, now for my third biggest holding. So in at third place, we have Dogecoin. Now this may make some of you guys laugh, but last cycle I slept on Dogecoin. I said, I'm not buying a stupid dog coin. Why would I invest in something like that? I'm gonna invest in real projects. And then what do you know? Dogecoin went absolutely crazy. Now, although the meme coin sector has taken a massive hit recently, Dogecoin's kind of in a league of its own. It's gone through, what, 3 cycles now at least, if not 4, I believe 3. It's obviously, of course, the category leader for the meme coins, which is, as many of you are probably aware, one of the most explosive sectors in the whole of crypto. And although it's been taking a beating recently, with Dogecoin being the leader and being such an almost household name, when people think of crypto, they think of Bitcoin. I would argue that a lot of people probably know Dogecoin above Ethereum. Dogecoin, because of Elon Musk, because of all the craziness last cycle, is really well known, and that can have a big impact on people putting money into it. Now, as the cycle continues, I'm 100% sure that meme coins are going to make a comeback. And who's the leader of the meme coins? Of course, it's Dogecoin. So for me, that was an easy pick. Now, last but not least, we have my final pick. Now, I don't know if it's my smallest holding as far as money I put in, but I believe it's dropped a little bit further than the others, and it's slightly lower down in the ranks. So it is what it is, but it's definitely not a weak project. So, last but not least, my fourth pick is Near Protocol. Now, perfectly in line with the other coin picks that I've just mentioned, Near Protocol is the category leader in the AI sector. Now, most of you have probably seen in the news, on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever you go for your crypto news, that AI is shaping up to be one of the hottest narratives for this cycle. Not only in crypto, but also in the stock world. Obviously, Nvidia has done crazily well over the last year. And we all know that the AI sector is one of the hottest things that everyone is talking about right now. AI has taken over the world, is going crazy, and AI crypto is no different. This sector has already seen some massive gains this cycle, but of course it's pulled back just like everything else. But this does not mean that it's still not the hottest sector about. Now guys, I don't want to go into too much depth about each of these projects because at the end of the day, I don't think you guys really care that much. The logic behind all of these was nice and simple. Which are the narratives that are going to be huge this cycle, that are going to gain all of the attention, that are going to gain traction very early on and have a good chance at pumping earlier on in the cycle, and then basically which are the guaranteed winners within those categories. So guys, let me know down below what you think of this strategy. I am extremely confident in it. Oh, and one little thing to note. I believe that potentially crypto gaming is actually going to put in a very late pump. So I would like to hopefully get one of these to pump nice and early, take the profits from them, and maybe play around in crypto gaming. Now, I don't know why I have a feeling that crypto gaming might pump a bit later. I believe it's because the hype around it's kind of gone. But I can't see the cycle going on and completing without us having a huge run from the crypto gaming sector. Now, I could be wrong, it could pump early, it might not pump at all, but that is definitely one of the sectors that I'm going to be looking for those late cycle flips. Before I end the video, guys, of course, I told you I was holding 6 coins and not 4. So the 2 runners up are Polkadot and VeChain. Now, I've been holding these 2 for quite a while now. They're kind of leftover bags from last cycle, but I've got enough faith in them that I'm not going to sell them off. They're not a huge part of my portfolio. I'm more confident in the other coins, but I have enough of them already, so why not have a little bit of diversification? But guys, I like to keep my portfolio nice and simple. When it's nice and simple like this, just 4, 5, 6 projects, you sleep far easier at night. You just stay happy, you stay relaxed, you stay chilled, and that's how I like to be. Crypto's already crazy enough. You don't need to make it crazier than it is. How I deal with that, I go for nice walks like this, out in nature. You guys can do whatever you want, but for me, having less projects, going for nice walks in nature, exercising, staying in the real world, really helps you get through the cycle without going too crazy. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully this one isn't going to be too long. I've had to stop so many times because of motorbikes driving past, but it is what it is. That's my logic. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it, what your strategies are for this cycle, and I'm interested in reading them. So I'll catch you guys again in the next video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.